Guys, that was really hard. Hold on. I know we've been here for an hour and I never went through this, but it's gluten and it's dairy and it's the whole table. I think if I had to do it again, the thing that would make a big difference.
Stay tuned to find out. After an easy day in Animal Kingdom, we kept with the animal theme for our dinner at the Boma Buffet at Animal Kingdom Lodge. We took a break in our room to nap and get changed, and then we drove on over. What makes the buffet an even bigger challenge than our gluten, dairy, and soy-free pescatarian diet is the fact that Nick was at a work conference, so I was doing the buffet on my own with 3 kids. Wish me luck. Animal Kingdom is my favorite resort in all of Walt Disney World, and I love all the restaurants, from Chico and Sanaa all the way down to the Mara. We had a reservation, but there was still a bit of a wait, and the kids were excited. Once we were called, we loved walking through the space. The canopies overhead almost feel like you're in a market, and while you can't see the savannah in the back of the resort, there are lots of animals and African themes in the decor.
So we started out with this guide that goes into great detail about what allergens are in which areas, and it's so tasty.
Our server brought gluten-free bread service and some allergen-friendly appetizers. Then I popped the baby into a carrier on my back and took the first round at the buffet. We got Moroccan lentil soup, black-eyed peas with greens and shakalaka, cauliflower salad, chickpea salad, and herb-crusted potatoes.
It's unique, but I think it's so yummy. There's a little cinnamon to it. That was my first bite. This is exactly why I love Boma. The flavors are so warm, and I mean they're authentic African flavors, but still accessible. And everything is so tasty and very veggie forward. It's delicious. And it's just a lentil soup. It's just gonna get better from there. What do you think, buddy? You have some good food? It looks like you're gonna need more.
The kids got a lot of rice and potatoes, but I also got spiced green beans with raisins, avocado papaya salad, and Yassa-style salmon.
There's definitely some spice in a lot of it. Black-eyed peas.
I find the cuisine at Boma, like all of the Animal Kingdom Lodge restaurants, to be adventurous, but still accessible for those who aren't too brave with their dining choices. You can get some authentic African flavors, but they're fairly subtle and most of all, absolutely delicious. My kids did a great job of staying with me in the buffet line and holding their plates while I let them know what items worked for our diet. It would be much harder if they got upset when they saw foods they couldn't have, but they were pretty good sports, and I steered clear of the bread and dessert displays for their sake. Then our server brought us some dessert that mostly worked for us, and we wrapped up our meal. We went home full and had sweet dreams of giraffes and okapis.
Guys, that was really hard. It's definitely not Disney's fault. It's more my fault than anything else. But when we got there, I was so overwhelmed with the noise, and it was very crowded. So talking through all the details of what I needed was just really overwhelming. And so we had noted gluten, dairy, and soy-free in our reservation, but our server only seemed to have the note that it was gluten-free and assumed it was just for me and not for the whole table. And I did a very bad job of explaining that. He gave me a pamphlet, so I was able to do most of the food choices on my own. And because we aren't highly reactive, I went ahead and went with the buffet and picked out our own foods. I love this location because there are so many foods that work that are all gluten, dairy, and soy-free. So we even as pescatarians, I thought, well, maybe we'll just have a bunch of veggies and no protein, but they had a great clean fish option that worked well. And so I did all that, but I still didn't explain myself well enough. So when he brought bread service, he only brought 2 rolls. And then at the end, he was going to bring a gluten-free plate of desserts for me. And I had to stop and go, hold on. I know we've been here for an hour and I never went through this, but it's gluten and it's dairy and it's the whole table. And so he did bring out raspberry sorbet and some cookies. And he was concerned that some of the cookies seemed to have soy. There were some that definitely were double chocolate chip from Enjoy Life. At least that's very much what they look like. So I assume those didn't have soy, but the homemade chocolate chip ones may have. My kids were happy with the dessert. We'd already had tons of fruit, so there was no shortage, but it was just stressful when I realized there are many steps to getting what you need. There's reading this pamphlet that is just a lot of information to absorb, and then there's trying to translate this pamphlet into what you're actually getting off the buffet, which is super overwhelming when you're one adult with 3 kids. And my kids were so keyed up from the noise and the energy that keeping them next to me and holding their plates and not spilling things or bumping into people was in and of itself a feat. By the time we left, I was really tired. So I fell asleep before I was able to tell you guys about it. So now it's the next morning. But all that to say, I got home and said, wow, I had a couple moments where I was like, this is a lovely meal and this is the food that I was excited to try, and I'm so glad we came. But also there were a couple moments that were much harder than I thought they were going to be. I was very tired. I think if I had to do it again, the thing that would make a big difference, one, obviously, I need to get over feeling like I am a burden and my kids' needs are a burden. And I need to say, you know what? Disney loves to help people out. They're here to serve you and to help you with what you need. And they usually are actually happy to do it. Like it makes them excited to be able to give you things that you can't really find anywhere else. And so I need to be excited to give them that opportunity. I need to change my mindset so that I'm not afraid or ashamed to speak up for myself. I need to be willing to advocate, which has always been something that is a struggle for me. You have to do that when you have special needs kids, when you have allergens in your family, when you have any of these requirements. But 2, when we had gone to Ohana the day before, it was very easy to kind of explain what we need and feel like we were calm and we had a good pace going and could really communicate with our server. But about half the tables are empty because we were picking a breakfast time and on a weekday. And I think if I had to do it again, I mean, this was a Tuesday night and a lot of folks have already gone back to school. So I didn't expect it to be as busy as it was. It was busy. And so I would probably make it an earlier reservation. Maybe something like 5 o'clock would be a lot emptier so the server could take their time. I wouldn't feel overwhelmed stopping and saying, here's what we need and here's where we're going. I normally would say all that stuff, but with the pamphlet with all the information, I didn't really need to, and he was so busy. And so I need to stop feeling like I'm a burden, and I need to let them serve me. And it's not just overwhelming for me as an allergen aware mom, or for my kids, for my son as an ADHD kiddo. Like that space, that noise, that large pack of people was probably overwhelming for everyone there. And so it's okay. Maybe we will take it easier today and keep this stuff in mind for next time. Having a second grown-up helps a lot. It's okay. We still had a great dinner. I was really excited to have those foods. I was super grateful for our server, and we will be back again.
If this was helpful to you, please like and subscribe. Or if you want to help us make better videos, you can go to our channel page and click donate in the banner at the top. Thanks so much for watching.